The shattered deal. Mira Kapoor adjusted the collar of her blouse for the third time as she stood outside the sleek glass doors of Astra Ventures. The morning sun glared off the building's metallic exterior, making it look as imposing as the man she worked for. Her fingers tightened around the tablet in her hands. Today's presentation could make or break the company's biggest deal of the year. Arjun Malhotra, the 34-year-old CEO of Astra Ventures, was known for his sharp intellect and even sharper tongue. He had built his empire from nothing, sacrificing personal connections along the way. Mira had been his executive assistant for nearly a year, learning to navigate his moods, anticipate his needs, and on rare occasions catch glimpses of the man beneath the ruthless exterior. The elevator ride to the top floor felt endless. Mira's pulse hammered as she reviewed the slides one last time. The Veritas Corporation deal was worth $60 million, and she had spent weeks perfecting every detail. Her palms were damp when she stepped into Arjun's office. His space was a testament to his success: floor, 2 ceiling windows, minimalist furniture, and a view that stretched across the city. He sat behind his desk, dressed in a tailored black suit, his dark eyes scanning a report. He didn't look up when she entered. "The Veritas team arrives in 20 minutes, Mira said, placing the tablet on his desk. "I finalized the projections, the market analysis, and the contract terms. Everything's ready." Arjun finally glanced up, his gaze flickering over the documents. Then his expression darkened. "Mira," he said, his voice dangerously calm. "Why does this say our profit margin is 18%? Her stomach dropped. She snatched the tablet back, her eyes scanning the numbers she had checked a dozen times. There it was, glaring error. Instead of the projected 25% margin, the presentation showed a mediocre 18%. I don't understand," she stammered. "I verified these numbers yesterday. This has to be a formatting glitch." "A glitch?" Arjun stood, his height casting a shadow. Over her. "This isn't a typo, Mira. This is incompetence. Do you have any idea what this could cost us?" Her throat tightened. "I can fix it. The meeting isn't for another 15 minutes? 15 minutes to redo weeks of work?" His voice was ice. "This is exactly the kind of mistake I can't tolerate. I need people who don't crack under pressure." The words cut deeper than she expected. She had worked late every night for this deal, sacrificed weekends, ignored texts. From friends? One error, and it was all worthless. "Arjun, please," she whispered, using his first name for the first time. "You know how hard I've worked?" "One mistake doesn't erase that." His expression didn't soften. "One mistake like this can ruin everything. I need someone reliable." She stared at him, waiting for him to backtrack, to acknowledge the nights. She'd stayed late just to make sure his coffee was perfect. But his face was unreadable. "You're fired," he said, effective immediately. The words didn't register at first. Then they hit like a punch. Mess straightened her shoulders, refusing to let him see her crumble. "I hope the presentation goes well," she said softly, turning away before he could reply. The elevator ride down was a blur. Her coworker, Priya, rushed over when she saw Mira packing her desk. "What happened?" Priya asked, eyes wide. "I made a mistake," Mira said, her voice hollow, "and Arjun doesn't forgive those." As she stepped out of the building for the last time, she glanced up. At the top floor, she wondered if he was watching, but the glass reflected only the sky, cold and indifferent. Asterisk. Arjun Malhotra sat in his office, staring at the signed contract from Veritas Corporation. The deal was closed. The numbers were flawless. By all accounts, it should have been a triumphant moment. Yet the silence in the room was suffocating. His new assistant, Nina, knocked and entered with his afternoon coffee black. No sugar, just the way he always took it. But when he sipped it, it tasted wrong, too bitter, maybe not bitter enough, because it wasn't Mira's. Nina was efficient, punctual, professional, but she didn't remember that he liked his pens arranged in a specific order. She didn't leave sticky notes with little reminders when he was too buried in work to eat. She didn't smile at him in that way like she actually cared if he was happy or just surviving. You've been different since you fired her. Vikram Sethi, his oldest friend, and the company's CFO, leaned against the doorway, arms crossed. I don't know what you're talking about, Arjun said, flipping through a report without reading it. Vikram snorted. You forgot the board meeting yesterday? You snapped at 3 different department heads this week? Naina told me you've been staring at your phone like it's going to magically ring. Arjun clenched his jaw. I've been busy with the Singapore merger, right? The merger you haven't even looked at yet. Vikram tossed his phone onto the desk. Speaking of things you've been avoiding, Rithiz. The headline glared back at him. Former Astra executive joins Orion Group as Director. Mira Kapoor's rapid rise stuns industry. Beneath it was a photo of Mira shaking hands with Rohan Oberoi, CEO of Orion Group, Astra's biggest competitor. She looked radiant, confident, happy, away from him. Vikram whistled low. Rohan promoted her within a week. Apparently, she restructured their entire client strategy. They've already landed 2 major accounts because of her. Arjun's grip tightened on the phone. She was supposed to struggle without me. She was supposed to realize she needed Astra, needed me. Instead, she was thriving. Meanwhile, at Orion Group, Amira leaned back in her new office chair, staring at the skyline. She had expected to feel lost after leaving Astra. Instead, she felt free. Rohan Oberoi had given her real responsibility, not just fetching coffee and double-checking spreadsheets. She was making decisions. Leading teams in Yetter. Fingers hovered over her phone. Has he even tried to reach out? Priya had texted her updates how Arjun had been more volatile than usual. How the office felt colder without her. Good, let him feel the absence. But a traitorous part of her wondered if he regretted it that night. Arjun found himself driving. Past Mira's apartment building, he didn't plan to stop. But then he saw her, stepping out of a cab, laughing with a colleague. She was wearing a deep red dress, her hair loose around her shoulders. She never wore her hair down at work. She looked different, alive, without him. His chest ached. Before he could stop himself, he got out of the car. Mira, she turned. Her smile faded. For a long moment, they just stared at each other. Then she crossed her arms. What are you doing here, Arjun? The streetlight flickered above them, casting shifting shadows across Mira's face. She hadn't moved, hadn't stepped closer, but she hadn't walked away either. Arjun's pulse roared in his ears. He had rehearsed this moment 100 times in his head, but now faced with her guarded expression, every prepared line evaporated. I wanted to see you, he admitted, voice rough. Her lips pressed into a thin line. You fired me. You don't get to want things anymore. A passing car honked, the sound slicing through the tension. Mira's colleague, tall man in a tailored suit, glanced between them. Mira, everything okay? She hesitated, then nodded. Go ahead, Aryan. I'll catch up. The man shot Arjun a wary look before walking toward the apartment lobby. Silence stretched between them. Finally, Mira exhaled sharply. Say what you came to say, Arjun, or leave. He swallowed. You're working for Oberoi. Brilliant observation. It should have been your promotion at Astra? The words tumbled out before he could stop them. You deserved it. It's not just the director title, the trust, the recognition. I should have given that to you. Her eyes flashed. But you didn't. You saw one mistake and threw me away like I was nothing. That's not... Do you have any idea how hard it was? Her voice cracked. Walking out of that building, knowing everyone saw me fail, that you saw me fail, the raw hurt in her words gutted him. I was wrong, he said quietly. She laughed, bitter. Wow, the great Arjun Malhotra admits a flaw. Did I mark this on my calendar? I fired you because I was scared. It stopped her. He stepped closer, hands shoved in his pockets to keep from reaching for her. You were the best thing that ever happened to Astra, to me. And the closer we got, the more I... He trailed off, jaw tightening. Mira's breath hitched. The more you what? I panicked. His gaze locked onto hers. I don't know how to need someone, Mira. I built myself not to. But you made it impossible not to. For a heartbeat, she just stared at him. Then you're a coward. The word should have stung. Instead, relief flooded him. Yes. She shook her head, but the anger in her eyes had softened. One dinner. That's it. No promises. No grand speeches. And if I walk away after you let me? His chest tightened. Name the place. Later that week, the dinner Mira chose a quiet Italian bistro for neutral ground, far from Astra's corporate haunts. Arjun arrived first. He'd spent the last 3 days rehearsing what to say. But the moment she walked in, every thought scattered. She wore a simple black dress. Her hair in a loose braid over one shoulder. No power suits, no armor, just her. You're staring, she said, sliding into the booth. You're beautiful. The automatic compliment made her roll her eyes, but a faint blush crept up her neck. Don't start, the waiter brought wine. Arjun waited until she'd taken a sip before speaking. I looked for you. Her fingers stilled on the glass. What? After. You left, I called your building, they said you'd moved. HR wouldn't give me your new address. You hunted me down. I needed to know you were okay. She set the glass down hard. Wasn't. For weeks I wasn't. The admission hung between them, raw and aching. Arjun reached across the table slow, giving her time to pull away. When their fingers brushed, her breath caught. I'm sorry, he whispered. Her eyes glistened. Prove it. Cross town. Rohan Oberoi scrolled through his contacts, pausing on a familiar name. Vikram Sethi. His thumb hovered over the call button. Astra's CFO. Wouldn't take his call without reason. But if rumors were true, Malhotra was unraveling, and Orion could use that weakness. He smiled and dialed. Mira woke to her phone, buzzing an alert from her alumni network. Astra Ventures establishes scholarship in honor of former executive Mira Kapoor. She sat up so fast her coffee sloshed. What the hell? The article detailed a $100,000 annual fund for women in business, bearing her name. No fanfare, no press release, just a quiet line at the bottom, in recognition of exemplary dedication. Her fingers trembled as she dialed Priya. Did you know about this? Priya groaned. Oh, he's insufferable when he's in love. He's not, Mira spluttered. Please, he also donated to that literacy non-profit you always nagged him about. And HR told me he vetoed hiring 3 replacements because they're not her. Mira hung up. Heart-pounding Astra Ventures. 1 week later, Arjun stood before the board, weathering their glares. You're distracted, accused Chairman Desai. The Singapore merger is stalled. You missed the investor luncheon? And now this. He slapped a tabloid on the table, a photo of Arjun, leaving Mira's apartment at dawn. Fring coughed into his fist. Smooth. Arjun didn't flinch. My personal life isn't up for discussion. Your life, Desai sneered. You're jeopardizing this company over some. Finish that sentence, Arjun said softly, and I'll make sure it's your last as chairman. The room froze. Vikram cleared his throat. What he means is, Mira Kapoor is the best strategist this company ever had. Arjun stood. And if wanting her back is a weakness, then I don't care to be strong. Orion Group, same day, Rohan Oberoi slid a file across his desk. You sure about this? Mira frowned at the confidential Astra documents. Malhotra's vulnerable. Rohan's smile didn't reach his eyes. With these, Orion could finally surpass them. Her stomach twisted. This wasn't strategy, it was sabotage. I need time to review. Rohan's gaze sharpened. You're not getting soft, are you? The unspoken threat hung in the air. That night, Arjun answered his door to find Mira drenched from the rain, clutching the Orion files. I need you to see this. He pulled her inside. She smelled like jasmine and betrayal. They pored over the documents as Straw's trade secrets. Financial projections, even Arjun's private meeting notes. Mira's voice was raw. Rohan's planning a hostile takeover. Arjun traced a familiar watermark on the papers. These came from Vikram. Her eyes widened. Your CFO? A muscle jumped in his jaw. We need proof. She reached for her phone. No. He caught her wrist. If Rohan suspects you're helping me, you'll lose everything. Her fingers laced with his. Then we lose it together. The trap. 2 days later, Rohan strode into a deserted Orion conference room and froze. Mira sat beside Arjun, their hands clasped on the table. Vikram stood behind them, face grim. Rohan whirled toward the door, but security blocked. Arjun tapped his phone. A recording played Rohan's voice offering Vikram millions for Astra's secrets. Mira stood, resigned by morning, or this goes public. Rohan's laugh was hollow. You'll ruin your career too. Funny. She smiled. I just got a better offer. Arjun squeezed her hand. The morning after Rohan Oberoi's resignation, Mira stood in her empty Orion office, staring at the single envelope on her desk. Mira Kapoor, private and confidential inside, was a handwritten note. The board meets at noon. Your seat is waiting. Number. Signature. None needed. Her phone buzz. The news alert. Astra Ventures announces restructuring. New leadership role for returning executive. A photo showed Arjun at a press conference. His usual icy demeanor softened by something dangerously close. To hope Priya called before she could process it. He recreated your old office, she squealed. Down to the stupid cactus you named Gerald. The man is whipped. Mira's chest tightened. Astra headquarters, noon the boardroom. Fell silent when she entered. Arjun stood at the head of the table. His usual crisp suit replaced by rolled-up sleeves and a loosened tie. His knuckles whitened around his pen when he saw her. Chairman Desai cleared his throat. Miss Kapoor, we're prepared to offer you the newly created position of Chief Strategy Officer, reporting directly to No. Arjun flinched. Mira stepped forward. I don't want a title or an office. She locked eyes with him. I want answers. The room emptied faster than a sinking ship. The truth, Arjun's penthouse was all glass and shadows, just like him. Why now? Mira demanded. After everything? He stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows, backlit by the city skyline. Because I finally understood. Understood what? Now that I was punishing you for my father's sins. His voice cracked. Abandoned. Our family for his mistress, then crashed the company funding our lives. I swore I'd never let emotion destroy me like that. She stepped closer. So you destroyed us instead? His breath hitched. Yes. The raw admission hung between them. Mira reached into her bag and slid a contract across the marble counter. Astra's. Competitor her new CEO offer. Arjun's face drained of color. I need to know, she whispered. If I walk away now, will you fight for me? Or will you let me go again? The grand gesture that wasn't Arjun Lafta. Broken, beautiful sound. No more fights, no grand speeches. He stepped closer, hands trembling as he framed her face. Just this. The kiss was soft, desperate. A surrender. When they broke apart, Mira's cheeks were wet. You kept Gerald, she accused. You kept my coffee order memorized. She swatted his chest. That's because you're unbearable before caffeine. His smile was brighter than the skyline. Say yes. To what? Everything? Epilogue. 1 year later, the plaque on the door read, Malhotra and Kapoor, partners inside. A certain cactus thrived on a sunlit desk, and if the new CEO was occasionally late because her husband distracted her in the elevator, well, some risks were worth taking.